So my morning sermonette for you all is this. All right. Every single person has something they need to work on. Every single person has made some mistakes that they, have to figure out. Stop letting people in your past shame you for you not knowing the answer to something in the present moment. And this is why I say this. There's no comparison in life about who's doing the best and who's doing the worst. That's not how God or the creator of this universe looks at life and is like, "Oh, you're worse than this and da da da." Yes, of course there are things that I think we shouldn't be doing. Like I don't believe in, taking people's lives without consent and these different things. But what I want to say is if you're trying to start some part of your life over, like for example, your finances, like me, and another person might be trying to start their relationship life over. There's no like this is better than you kind of thing. And so stop letting people make you feel bad because you're trying to figure stuff out that maybe you just didn't know, or you didn't have access to that information, or that you had these subconscious blocks, or now that you're aware, like, oh, this is a problem, and I had to figure it out. We're all trying to figure out different parts of life, and it takes time. It takes time for you to figure it out. For me, I have been financially devastated, and I'm going to have to figure it out, but I will. And there's some people who are still trying to figure out how to live after their divorce, how to have a better relationship with their kids, how to like rise past, a certain education level, how to be nicer to other people. Like everyone's trying to figure something out. So, yes, take responsibility for what you need to figure out, but don't let anybody shame you or make you feel bad or harass you or be like, "Well, I can't believe this." Like, don't block out those people who make you feel inferior because what's happening is, or you can't. First of all, don't let anyone make you feel inferior. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. But what happens is people start to feel superior when they forget that they are also trying to figure out some part of their life. And this is why I have had to take space from people, because when people are judgmental or when people try to shame you or make you feel a certain way, they don't remember that in their own lives, there's something that they're trying to figure out too. And that's why instead of me arguing with people now, I used to be argumentative. I just remove myself from a scenario because I'm like, I won't allow people to make me feel bad when you're saying, so basically when people try to make you feel bad, they're basically saying that, well, I'm doing better in this part of my life than you overall. So I get to dictate your place in this world, in my reality. And that means to shame you, make you feel guilty, or make you feel these different things. But every single human's trying to figure something out. So you have to be strong enough to remove yourself from scenarios and situations with people that want to make you feel inferior and that forget that everyone's on a life journey. Just because some person might be struggling with this part of their life and they're genuinely trying to figure it out, it doesn't mean that another person gets to make you feel that you're so terrible or you're so bad. Because if you look at another part of their life, you could say the same thing and be like, but you're not doing well in this area. But I don't do that to people. That's why I just remove myself and then I let people figure it out. We have to stop being a shaming culture and a culture that where we literally want to feel so superior to another because of our past feelings of inferiority in another aspect of our life, that we literally are like, you did this to me and I'm going to keep poking at you, instead of actually looking at a person being like, maybe they're really going through something and they haven't figured this out and I have to be there for them. you know for me, when it comes to finances and money, I have had to figure out, first of all, like, why did I stop believing in having a money? Because other parts of my life were going well. And it came down to the fact that when my grandfather died, I stopped feeling like I needed to pay. I lost my motivation to keep going for more financial security because I just wanted to live for my grandparents. They were my whole life. And then he died, and it was the most heartbreaking thing. And yes, I lost my mother, and she went missing when I was younger. But when he died, it's like a piece of me was. This is why grief and loss is very complex, because it's not just you lose someone. There's something behind the grief and loss. And I had to go back and ask myself, like, when did I start to go on the decline with my finances? And it was that that moment. And then the moment after that of him being, him dying, and then we had the pandemic, and then, my father's heart tore in half, and then my grandparents died, and then I just had to really process all the money I had spent, and then losing a job, losing a car, these different things. It's not a shame thing. This is not for you to feel bad. It's just me recognizing my life. And I think that some people have not understood how difficult that was for me to go through all this in one time, and then to face an eviction, these different things. And I take responsibility for that, you know, because that part of my life was crucial for me to understand that I was really hurting, and to really recognize that, all right, well, now that you understand these things because of what you've gone through financially, this is the time for you to rise. And now that I'm more healed and aware and understanding what it means to rise, and that God took, like, even though when I lost my job, when I was taken from a job, um, they've let me go because they were just not great people, in some ways, and they had me doing things that were against my contract and not paying me more, and they didn't like that, so they just fired me instead because I advocated for myself. And anyways, I applied to all these jobs and I couldn't get a job, but it gave me time to take time to really start healing from all the loss and the feelings of being re-triggered. And so now I'm facing these things and I'm like, all right, I got to figure it out, and I will figure it out, but I will not let anybody shame me or make me feel guilty for my path in life. So whatever it is for you that you're going through, whether it's, maybe you've gone through losses back to back to back like I have, and you've had to pay for funeral expenses, and you've had to pay for going to the hospital, for 3 people at once, and some things aren't even covered under insurance, and you're paying for parking, and you're driving back and forth, and you're only living on a small salary that you thought was enough for you because you never expected to lose so many people back to back. You've taken out loans or whatever it is. Maybe you are going through a divorce, and you've gone through divorces and you're still trying to figure out how to navigate that. Continue holding your head up. And if you lose people in the process who don't get you, don't understand you, and who truly don't see you, those people were not meant to be in your life. There are more people to have in your life. But it's not just about losing people. It's about the fact that you have to remember who you are. We're all children of God. We're all trying to figure something out. We're all supposed to be more forgiving and loving towards each other and helping people to rise. And the people that are in my life that are very close to me, my closest friends, know when I am suffering truly, and they can see through whatever's going on with me to be like, this is who you truly are, and they never shame me or guilt me. Those are people to have around you, the ones who see the God in you, and command you to rise. So I know that whatever's happening in my life, I'm going to get out of it, because every single time that I've had a situation, I've always gotten out of it. It might have taken time, but there's a lesson in there. And so instead of having like sitting in a place where you feel so much shame because you're like, I did this and I am such a bad person, this person's making me feel this way, or these saying these things about me, remember who you are, and remember that every single person is going through something that they have to learn, or they've had to learn. So nobody has a right to make you feel bad. Nobody has a right to make you feel bad, because like I said in the beginning, nobody is God over this universe. And so stop putting your power in someone else's hands by allowing them to shame you. Figure out what's going on in your life. Acknowledge it. Like, I acknowledge what has happened over the last few years of my life, and I'm like, okay, there are things that I need to figure out. Acknowledge it. Take responsibility for it when you know how to, because sometimes you're just so out of it mentally that you're like, your thoughts are like this. But center yourself. That might take a little bit of time, especially if you've gone through a lot. And just know who you are, that you're God's child and you deserve the best. And don't allow anybody to make you feel inferior. Don't allow anybody to make you feel inferior, because every single person, if you go into their household and you go behind the door and you listen to their thoughts, the things they do and they say, there's no perfection in this. So everyone's going through something they need to figure out, and just stay focused on your path. That allows you to release yourself from shame when you stay focused on your path and what you can do to better your life, and prioritize the people that are important to you. Like, I have a child now, and I have an amazing partner, and that's important to me. And so focus on that, and everything else will fall into place. Pray about it and rise and do the action steps when the divine inspiration comes to you. And I promise you, your life will get better. But stop letting people shame and make you feel bad, because they have no right. Have a great day.